And welcome to the Casual Nerdcast. Joining me tonight, Aimal.
Hey, I have nothing to contribute.
Nothing this time. Evan.
Is that your announcer voice? Hello and welcome to the casual. What was that?
I'm trying something. I'm trying something. I'm trying something.
He's different.
And we have a special guest tonight that will be replacing Andrew, and his name is Dominic.
Hi guys, how's it going?
All
You
right.
just keep going with it. That's amazing.
And who are you?
Well, I didn't even say my name. I totally dodged that one. And I am Justin.
There we go. That's better.
Alrighty. So this actually happened roughly last week. We were going to talk about it, but we never really came up because I think it happened after we recorded the podcast, and that's why I was a bit upset that this happened. Google appears to have picked up Twitch for $1 billion. This seems to have been confirmed. There was a lot of rumors circulating in May, and the rumors turned out to be true. Let's see. So apparently Google finally has decided to recognize gaming as a serious market. And
Market.
it basically was roughly announced, well, roughly after the end of the international that happened this year. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this was a good move on YouTube's part? Or sorry, Google's part? Well, Google YouTube at this point is about the same thing. What do you guys think? How do you guys see this?
Give it a week and they're going to force Google Plus down your throat.
For sure.
Fuck,
Although-
I knew somebody was gonna mention it. Somebody.
In all seriousness, though, if we're going to get it out of the way, but in all seriousness, I actually think that there's a lot of hope for that. I don't remember if we vaguely mentioned it in an earlier podcast, but the fact that Google already has the world's largest, most powerful video streaming and sharing service, which
sharing.
we're using right now, and now they're picking up the world's most popular game streaming service on top of that. I mean, they can do a lot with that. I just don't know where they're headed.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because it's nice to see that gaming is starting to get recognized as something more than just people or quote unquote from BBC teenagers clicking away at a screen. I don't know if you saw that clip.
That was a good clip.
Yeah, so I think right now the general perception is gaming is still looked down upon, and I think this purchase may bring it up to a more serious level, the level that people kind of expected it. Aimal and I were with Greg and Uraz, I think, a few months ago discussing esports and issues with it not being taken seriously, ESPN, for instance, that kind of comparison. We were kind of looking into what the difference was and why is it not respected as much, and I think this purchase may actually shift that kind of tone. I don't know, what do you guys think about that?
I already gave my thoughts. All you guys.
You want to summarize that? Or you mean earlier?
Oh yeah, I mean it kind of goes in the same way, because literally the world's biggest tech giant for just about everything now picks up a very popular streaming service. Basically, it's giving a lot of promise to games and tech in general because Twitch can be used for a lot more if they decide to expand it.
Yeah.
And I think Google's done really good with their past couple purchases. With YouTube, when they bought it, they definitely tried to make their changes and stuff and kind of implement the Google way of doing things. But I think they kind of understand that that's not what they want to be doing as much. I feel like their management structure is more so along the lines of, we're going to buy a company because we like what they're doing, and we're going to let them do what they want to do. We're going to give them Google assets and help them in any way we can. But I mean, even with YouTube, they did their thing, people backlashed, they took it out, right? It's they understand what to do and what not to do more than they used to, I think. I think this could only be a good thing personally. But granted, the only time I watch Twitch is really when the international's on. I can't remember the last time I actually just sat and watched it. Well, I guess like Super Smash Bros. Tournaments and Dota tournaments. That's all I watch. I don't ever do anything else with it.
And that's actually a very interesting point to kind of bring up. When was the last time, Dominic? When have you ever used Twitch? Like, what was your experience using Twitch?
Well, when I use Twitch, I actually use the NVIDIA Shadow Play, and
Oh, yeah.
it goes well together. But I still think Twitch is lacking a bit more. And now that I think about it, YouTube also has a streaming service, right?
Yes.
They can
Ish.
go live. So
It's
now that they have I guess, two apps that can go streaming, would they take it out in YouTube because it's not as frequently used as Twitch, right?
the app with YouTube, I believe, is exclusive to Google Hangout. I do not believe that it shares the same capability as Twitch.
Not quite. It does have options for live streaming things that are happening, like concerts and stuff, but that's
Right.
usually at the discretion of Google themselves.
Right.
Users don't have that ability, I don't think.
I do not believe so.
Yeah. Otherwise, what you're talking about, yeah, that's for Google partners using
Yeah.
Google Hangouts.
Yeah. So there could be a good chance that that Google Hangout application or whatever streaming application could be potentially improved. And it was interesting to see. Twitch is now streaming concerts. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, yeah?
Just today they're streaming. It's actually happening in like 30 minutes. Well, today's
Yeah, there's like a dubstep or a techno concert.
Steve Aoki, yeah. So it's interesting to see because now it seems like Twitch is now moving less to exclusively gaming now, and potentially could see different services.
Well, they've always just flat out been a streaming service, right? Like they've never. I mean, yes, they were more tailored towards games because that was their starting, but you've always been able to stream whatever you wanted as long as there was a video feed. You could stream it to Twitch. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Theoretically,
I don't-
but I believe that their rules, the whatchamacallit, the terms and conditions basically state that there has to be something to do with gaming. And
Okay.
that was actually, if you remember initially when PlayStation 4 had that room share or whatever it was called.
Yeah, because
Be-
that was the next thing I was going to bring up.
Yeah, people were doing things that they weren't supposed to, and Sony and Twitch weren't too happy about that, and that's why I don't know what happened. Did Sony take it out or?
That's actually a good question.
Not sure.
Let me.
I remember
Deal Google.
they restricted it really heavily, and Twitch took down any of the videos regarding that, like, because they can't stop broadcasts because they don't know whether or not it's just the beginning and then it'll eventually go to gaming. But I know that any post recording of said broadcast would be taken down. I don't know. So do you think there's a possibility that Twitch is now going to be opening up to, well, do you think Twitch is still going to be around? Do you think
I don't see why not.
do you think YouTube's just gonna have all of Twitch's capabilities and just Twitch is gonna be
Oh.
shutting down, or
I
They'd have,
think.
to,
Sorry.
they'd have to do something about their user base because Twitch has a huge user base now. They can't just be like, you're all part of YouTube now, forced Google accounts, because that would make people run in the other direction.
I don't
Right.
think. I don't think they'll. They might integrate it with YouTube, as in,
Yeah.
you click the stream button and it takes you to Twitch or something, right?
Right.
But I don't think they'll merge the two because they understand what a brand name is. I mean, even
Exactly.
if you look at Nest or Dropcam, which they recently bought, I mean, Nest and Dropcam perform two very, very close functions, but home monitoring and stuff like that, right? And they bought Nest. They didn't Google brand it at all, really. I mean, you can buy it on the Play Store, but it's still the Nest.
yeah,
And
that's
then-
true.
And the same with the Dropcam, and they didn't even merge the Nest and Dropcam. I think they just made them speak to each other, right? So they just kind of, I don't know how to word it. they make them function together, but they don't, merge them into the same.
Okay.
Because I think Google definitely understands the power of a brand,
Mhm.
Yes, for
which
sure.
is also why they're fucking Google. I mean,
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, but I also think now that Google's purchased Twitch, I think there's a good chance that Twitch may change its category from just gaming to now basically anything.
Well, with ESPN, especially broadcasting stuff like Dota, I think it wouldn't be out of the question for Twitch to start. Although I do think that they'll more so stick to this kind of like sitting at a computer and streaming what is on a computer, right? I mean them doing this whole concert stuff. I don't really see that getting that big personally. But I definitely see. I mean, one episode we live streamed this over Twitch, right?
Right.
I can see stuff like that getting pretty big. Like, you know, if Rebel FM or something were to live stream an episode and answer questions over whatever, or Linus Tech Tips.
Oh yeah, they do that. They do the WAN show.
They stream over Twitch.
Yep.
I could definitely see stuff like that getting big, with that stuff not being about games, right? Like maybe there's a weekly book club or something that meets on Twitch. I don't know, right? No, I mean, there's Geek and Sundry has the Vaginal Fantasy or whatever.
Fair enough. Geek and Sundry. Fair enough.
Yeah, and that's one of their. They get a lot of views on that. But that could easily go live, right? Because then you could have interaction between the user and the people, right?
The one thing I could end up seeing is probably a lot more ads. Though I do think Twitch already has...
They already have a fair amount of ads.
They already have a fair amount of ads, so... I don't know. I for the most part, I don't know. Everyone's reactions seem to be really mixed, mostly because of what Aimal pointed out, saying that they kind of just forced everyone Google Plus accounts. There's a possibility, but, you know, Evan also brings up a very good point that they probably learned a lesson from that. And
hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, even Sergey, fuck, why can't I remember his name?
That guy.
Big CEO guy at Google flat out said, I should not have led the Google Plus team. Yeah, Sergey Brin. He said, he flat out said, I should not have been leading the Google Plus team because I don't know how social works. I'm not a social person, right? So they understand that they don't really get this stuff, right? They do to a certain degree,
right?
But not to the degree that, you know, Twitch understands it themselves, because they obviously understand it.
They're doing something right if someone keeps coming back to watch these things.
Yeah. But I think through Google, I do agree with you. I think that I don't know if you agreed with this or not, actually, but I do think that they can expand into other gaming things very easily with the help of Google.
Yeah, right? I see this being mostly uphill. I don't know what else they could do per se, but I mean, like, because as far as I can tell, there has been some pretty cool Twitch YouTube integrations. So like, anytime you start streaming and you're watching someone's video on YouTube, the little pop-up that'll say, "Oh, this person's also streaming." So like, that's there now.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff that's really cool, and I think that's what we'll see more in terms of the integration between Twitch and YouTube. Yeah.
So you think you think it's basically just they're gonna stay as independent as they really can, and maybe Google will just kind of tell Twitch to kind of sway different categories every so often.
Yeah, definitely. I think what Google does with their purchases is they purchase a company and try to use their assets to make that company grow.
Right.
They don't necessarily purchase a company and then take it over.
Yeah.
There's a lot of examples of that kind of thing happening. Not always, yes, but there's quite a few examples of that happening, and most of those examples are the bigger purchases that they've made. You know,
right.
Nest, Dropcam. With YouTube, they tried to change, but that was kind of their first major purchase.
Yeah.
I think.
I would say so. I
don't know the history of Google off by heart, but that feels correct to me.
Fair enough. All right, so now moving on to something that was more recent. I believe this happened. Well, this is going to get loaded on Friday, so this happened on Tuesday. EA Access got announced.
Woo!
Which is very interesting stuff. So basically, EA Access is exclusive to Xbox One, and for $5 a month or $30 a year, Xbox One owners get FIFA 14, Madden NFL 25, Peggle 2, and Battlefield 4. And they're expecting for their library to grow, their gonna have early access stuff for their games. Originally, when I heard about this, I was kind of surprised as to why it's an Xbox One exclusive. So turns out Sony claims that that this EA access is not a good value for PlayStation owners. So with that in mind, what do you guys think of EA access?
I love it. With the caveat of it being what I think it is. So if it's anything like PlayStation Plus, if it's anything like the fact that I sign up to this service and I get a game and that game never goes away, we've just lost Aimal.
Yes.
But anyways, if I don't lose the games that I've subscribed to, I love this. If they're going to be constantly switching games in and out, like the League of Legends weekly free heroes or something like that, right? This is going to be the worst thing, and I don't think anybody's going to use it because, if I can pay $30 a month and have Battlefield 4 always ready for me and also play a bunch of games, $30 a year, that's phenomenal, right? But if one month I'll be able to play Battlefield, next month I won't be able to, it's just going to get confusing, and I don't want that. I want to have a game and know that game is always mine. If they do some kind of cycle thing, I think that's the first way that this will die. I don't know. I mean, OnLive kind of promised the same type of thing, and it died. But anyways, go.
Yeah, I look at this as more so like a Netflix more so. It doesn't seem that like things will exist as long as they remain relevant. So if people are still downloading, say, Battlefield 1942, we'll put Battlefield 1942 on there. If people are still using XYZ game, they'll still be on. Because I mean, if a game's not going to be there, the game's not going to be popular, then they might just take it off. So like in a sense, Aimal's back. Welcome back.
Sorry about that. My grandma turned on the video streaming upstairs, and it completely killed the internet.
Dang.
Nice.
So actually, now that you're back, we've moved on to EA Access. What are your thoughts on EA Access?
Hold on, are we still recording?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ask me that again so you can pick it back up.
Okay. Evan already said a spiel, so don't worry. Just
the spiel that I said was I mentioned how I think that if the way that they implement is good. Like if the games keep on cycling, I think it's going to die. But if I get the games and they stay with me forever for $30 a year, I'm totally in.
Right. Okay.
Now you're completely up to date. Woo!
Just ask me again and kind of resume it from here.
all right. So what do you think of EA Access?
I'd be inclined to agree with Evan. Obviously, like we're talking something similar to the PS Live thing, where you get to keep the games as long as you have your
PlayStation Plus.
50 a year. That's what it's called. I thought it was PS Live. My bad.
They also have PS Live. But
PS
whatever.
Live.
Let's not worry about that then.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is EA only. First off, I strongly dislike that they decided to partner up with Microsoft and offer exclusives, but that's how it is now.
No. Here's the correction. It's not that they partnered up with Microsoft exclusively. It's that Sony turned EA down.
Really?
Yes.
Is that why they're so bitter?
What do you mean?
I guess we'll get into that later on, considering Sony doesn't exactly like the idea.
Okay, so basically, yeah, Sony decided, they basically flat out said that the EA Access is not a good value for PlayStation fans or PlayStation owners.
Okay, fair enough.
They said that basically what they have on the PlayStation Plus store is sufficient, and they know how to cater their market.
Right.
Well, that's what kind of worries me about this, is because if they think that the PlayStation Plus market, the PlayStation Plus idea is already good enough, that makes me think that maybe EA was showing something to Microsoft and Sony that was kind of a cycle period, right? Because I don't know, that's what that makes me feel like. I that's what that screams at me, I think.
So this was, just to clarify, this was what, $5 a month?
Yeah,
$5 a month or $30 a year.
Or $30 a year, right? For 10% discount off of all EA titles and unlimited access to whatever games they have on their cycle.
Right.
That's decent.
So the cycle idea has not been confirmed. All that's been confirmed is that you will get access to the 4 or 5 games that they state.
Whatever, yeah.
They haven't said if these games are going to be cycled, or they haven't said if you're going to keep these games.
Right.
As of right now, you get access to these games for $30 a year, or $5 a month.
That 10% discount doesn't really fly with me unless you're literally buying an EA game every month. Because otherwise, you're paying $5 a month and then you're getting a 10% discount.
You're saving.
The fact they're offering 10% discounts actually make me sway to what Evan is thinking. That it's probably going to be cycle based.
Right.
So they make you go, hey, look, this game's awesome. By the way, you get 10% off it now.
Yeah.
Once the cycle's over, buy it. It's like an extended demo.
It is.
Might be.
Well, I mean, you could pretty much finish a game in like.
True.
Whatever their cycle is, unless it's like less than.
But in the case of something like Battlefield 4, you're not going to be like, So I know you guys hate Battlefield 4. I don't. But in the case of.
Who said I? Okay, Dominic says I love Battlefield 4. You hate Battlefield. Where is my credibility coming from?
Ammo's been ripping on it for the past like 5 episodes.
I don't even own it.
I hate Battlefield 4. It's just so bad.
Anyways, so I enjoy it, but in the case of Battlefield 4, or if Activision were to do this or something, like people don't get their full games worth in a month of those kind of games. They play them for the entire year until the next one comes out. Well, until the next version comes out, right? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Plus, I guess the one redeeming factor, so to speak, would be you get a week early access to new games that have yet to be released. Again, which is great, but then if they're single player games, you're gonna beat them by that point. So
good.
What's the point?
Well, I mean, it's more or less replay value. I mean, we know billions of people who are still. Well, billions is an over exaggeration. Let's just say.
You know 1 billion people. you know more than the population of Canada.
What were you gonna say though?
Thousands of people who replay old games, guaranteed.
Okay.
All the time. I mean, I know some people who are still, going to be playing Mass Effect 1 and 2 so that they can alternate how the endings are. Which now they realize is, pointless, but I mean, but yeah.
There was a good time.
There was a time when people had 8 different saves for Mass Effect 2, completely ready for Mass Effect 3, only to be disappointed.
I'm holding myself in right now. Not gonna.
Yeah, let's not.
Hey, that is a discussion for another time.
I hate you all. But
anyway. So,
but yeah, I don't personally like it. It gives a bad taste in my mouth because it kind of reminds me of the whole internet fast lane bullshit that's going on right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, you pay us more, we'll give you more content. If you don't, you get to be with the peasants and get it at regular price later, sort of thing. I don't see a reason to do this other than, hey, give us money. Because you're buying our shit anyway, so give us $5 more a month to do the exact same thing.
And I feel like I feel like what's going to happen is all of the EA pre-order stuff that you're going to get, so like the day one DLC, early access, that's all just going to shift to this, and now pre-order content is just going to be shit, right? Because
they have no reason to do it anymore because this is their cash grab now.
Like, oh, you pre-ordered? Oh, well, you're not in EA access.
Yeah.
See, I'm curious to see.
On top.
I'm curious to see how premium is going to be affected by this.
Like
because
Battlefield Premium?
Yeah, I'm interested to see maybe there's going to be some kind of integration with EA Access. So rather than premium being associated with a game now, you'll get premium like as a yearly subscription, which kind of makes sense to some extent because if you buy.
This is EA. I don't think they'd stop charging us more money on a
But like, I mean, you're paying $60 already. It's basically another game. Why don't you just charge them like $60 a year, and then, if it just so happens that your Battlefield 4 console comes out with Battlefield 5 or some odd reason or whatever it may be, your premium just kind of carries over or something.
If someone gives you free candy, are you gonna stop them from giving you free candy? No, you're gonna keep grabbing candy from them until they don't have any left.
Yeah.
So why would you stop charging people?
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
As long as you
just-
keep lining up, they're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
Just pointing out the because Call of Duty had a similar feature where they were gonna have I don't know if they still have it, but I know it didn't go well at all.
Yeah.
There was a Call of Duty access idea
What?
where you pay, I think it was $40-50 a year, and
Month.
yeah,
That's
a month, a year, and you kind of got like this Call of Duty account instead of having a Black Ops account or Black Ops 2 account. It was all of your accounts went to this single thing. You got benefits for being part of this thing. It was basically premium, but on a yearly subscription. And I know
Right.
it didn't do well, but it yeah, I don't know. So just pointing out a version of that didn't work.
Yeah,
Is-
that's true. I don't know. It depends on how this execution goes about. I know one thing's for sure. Anything involving PlayStation Plus, and EA game, anything that EA releases, it's probably not going to be any continuation. I don't think there's going to be any more PlayStation Plus EA games. But well, like
Oh, right.
yeah.
Kind of like the Origin Steam Fallout. Now EA is their own thing. There's no more EA games on Steam ever. So now everything that was PS Plus with EA is going to be revoked and go to EA Plus or whatever it's going to be
Well,
called instead.
you no with PS Plus, I
EA
think
access.
it's like we will still have the games that we have.
Oh, true. Sorry,
Because
I meant new games.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like how Mass Effect 2 is still on Steam, but Mass Effect 3 is not.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say because if
Yeah,
I
my bad. I worded
lose
it
my
wrong.
EA games, man, Sony's gonna have to pay me out.
Yeah,
'Cause I paid for those essentially.
true enough.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm pretty sure, like, at this point, it's pretty evident, with the rise of Origin. Rise. That's
Rise.
an optimistic and ambitious word. Let's just say the invention.
So
The invention of Origin. I think it's just safe to say that, like, a lot of these major publishers are just trying to avoid paying those extra fees that, like, Steam has, and probably Xbox Live has, and
True,
inevitably,
yeah, possible.
yeah, it's just
Except everything else sucks.
Well-
Cough, cough, you play.
Well, I
Yeah.
have a question for you guys. What would you would you guys would something like this be interesting to you? So would if a publisher offered you something along the lines of PlayStation Plus, where it was just say, I don't know, 150 bucks a year or something like that, and you have access to every single game we released this year permanently, instead of so basically you subscribe to a publisher and you get all of their games, and so maybe for games you end up paying maybe like $700 a year or something for all
If
the
you
games
do
released
that.
by Ubisoft, all the games released by EA, all the games released by Sony's various companies. So you just get all the games without having to go out and buy them, you just have access to them. Would that be something that interests you?
depending on the publisher.
Well, yes. So I mean, you could definitely pick and choose, but I mean, I'm sure there's a couple that you would just go out and do, right? Like,
Well, judging by the long list of Ubisoft games I've already pre-ordered, Ubisoft
Yeah.
would definitely be something that, because I mean, they release games like what, 3 or 4, and they're AAA titles, and they're all relatively decent.
For the most
it's
part, yeah.
for the most part, like, they're gonna have Far Cry 4 soon, Assassin's Creed
Yep.
Unity, all within that same time gap, and if you buy them both full price, that's $120. So if they had like an EA Access equivalent, which is like $30, and I got to play them
so,
like
so that's the one thing. Like this, something that I'm talking about could not be $30. It would
Fair
have
enough.
to be
It'd be
around,
much more, yeah.
right? It'd have to be around the $150-$200 price for Ubisoft.
That's the equivalent
to-
of like 3-4 games full price, basically.
Yeah,
Because they're
for a
assuming
year.
you buy at least that much.
if they
But
can guarantee.
The other,
Yeah. What were
the
you
other
gonna say?
caveat to this though is that if you unsubscribe, you lose your games.
Oh,
Oh.
And that would
you
have
pay
to be there.
yearly?
but
Yeah,
you just said permanently. Oh, as long as you keep paying.
Yeah, it basically
Oh, I see.
basically PlayStation Plus, but you're getting every new game instead of games that came out a couple months ago.
Right.
See- The thing is, I like touching TV DVD boxes. It's just
Yeah, you've mentioned that before.
Yeah, well, we talked about this with like the digital versus DVD, but
yeah, and I think it has to be like a dramatic saving for me. And I mean, Best Buy is doing a good job at taking all my money right now. So If Ubisoft can do a better job at it, then I could.
So let's theoretically set the price at $150, $200. So
Sure.
middle point $175. I think you are very, very easily saving money in your case, specifically with Ubisoft.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you would be drastically saving money there because you've probably bought 5 or 6 games from them this year based on the games that have come out, or maybe not even this year. Last year Ubisoft released tons of games, so maybe one year you pay a little bit more, one year you pay a little bit less, right? Like
It averages out,
yeah, I would.
or it should average out.
Yeah, especially in a company like Ubisoft's place, right?
But
The other,
yeah, the other thing is that, you know, there's always that fear, you know, the 1 year, it's like, what if they release, it's dependent on the fact that they have to be releasing quality games.
Yep.
Because, like, for me, I like, for instance, The Crew, right? I like, Crew's great. I played the beta. It's great, but it's just, I'm not going to pick it up. It's not my kind of game. But as a result of paying for that Evan's hypothetical $150, I'm basically obligated to play it to save money, if that makes sense.
To make up your money's
Exactly.
worth,
Exactly. I'm interested in a majority of Ubisoft games, but that doesn't say I'm interested in, like, all of them. And
Right.
for me to actually make my money, I would have to be forcefully playing games that I probably won't even end up enjoying. Which I guess in turn is an issue, now that I think about it, if this is
Kinda.
if this is true with EA Access. It's the issue that, you know, the expectation is they better be delivering on good games. But I mean, $30
Here's
is
the thing. Yeah,
What's
you
that,
don't
Dominic?
know if the games are going to be good because, like, take Watch Dogs for example.
Yep.
Like, I loved Watch Dogs.
but
3
would
days
it,
after, I'm never going to play it again.
but wouldn't it be? Isn't it somewhat worth it to just have this idea of any game that this company releases is going to just show up at my door. I can play it, make my decision about it, whatever, and
If I want.
get on. Exactly, and move on with it without feeling like you're. I mean, yes, you spent money on the service, but you spending $60 on Watch Dogs, for example, and being disappointed with it is a lot less taxing than just having a subscription that you go to and it's like, oh, you know, Far Cry 3 came out. I'm incredibly impressed with this game.
It's
Watch Dogs came out. That wasn't that great, but hey, it's money.
an analogy might be passive consumption in the sense that you're not paying for Netflix, you're paying for cable. You just watch whatever crap is on TV. If it's good, you'll rewatch it. If not, fuck that.
Yeah, but even this is almost even more like Netflix though, because you can. Netflix has its fair share of crap.
True.
Has its absolute fair share of crap.
You're not forced to. According to Justin, if he was paying for the service since it's such a high price, he'd be forced to play these games. He'd be forced to watch the
at your hypothetical price, obviously. But,
yeah, I have a hard time thinking that a company could release something like that for cheaper than something around $150.
Yeah,
Makes
because otherwise
sense.
they're just bleeding money.
Yeah.
Enough.
Exactly, right? I mean, PlayStation Plus gets around that by releasing games that are around the $20 mark anyways.
True.
Or games that are straight from them that they want
First
everybody
party.
to own, right?
No publisher cost, nothing. Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Although
So,
technically, this studio would be doing the exact same thing then. Ubisoft, EA, whatever.
but these games are getting released on release day, right? Like Uncharted 3.
Oh.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Uncharted 3 was on PlayStation Plus, but it was like 5 or 6 months later.
Right.
So that definitely opened up. And for me, the thing that I kind of really enjoy about this is just in terms of budgeting. This makes things so much easier for anybody if you guys do personal budgeting at all, right? Because now I literally have just a list of like, I'm going to spend $700 on games this year, flat out, period, done, right? Which is great, right? Like
fair enough.
For the record, that's a real whole lot of money for games, man. Holy shit.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
That's not. I have $200 budgeted toward games on a monthly basis.
Oh jeez.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I only have half of that for the entire year.
Same here.
And my years start in July because of E3.
Anyway, I get what you mean though. It's It's peace of mind for the reckless consumer such as Evan.
Well,
I'm
I
kidding.
don't know. I'd be interested to see because I mean, fuck. Now I want to ask a lot of people because you could even do something like PlayStation Plus where you're spending $100 a month instead, say, or 50 to $100 a month, but you get all your games Sorry, a year, yeah.
Yeah,
6
yeah,
months.
okay, shit.
Not a month. You get all your games 6 months late, but you get them.
Right. And you keep them
Right.
just like yeah.
Yeah, and you keep them normally. I wonder. Fuck, I want to. Market testing. I'm giving you free ideas, people. Do them.
Watch. In 2 years, EA is gonna have their own console because this is their beta testing version of PS Plus. They're not. They're not.
That's ambitious. EA having their own console.
I'm kidding.
EA's console is the PC. They have Origin.
All right, Aimal said it right here. If it happens, get Aimal a job in like video game development or something, or journalist or whatever it is. It's final. If EA makes a console, we are taking this clip and showing it to the world, and like I will date stamp the fuck out of this. Like, if EA at all makes a console,
I'm just gonna throw it out there. If the Steam box has failed, arguably failed as hard as it has,
More or less.
what the hell is the Origin box gonna be?
It's gonna launch with Battlefield 5.
Yeah, and then it'll be like oh my god.
Wait. Battlefield 5 is gonna be an exclusive to the Origin box.
Oh god, that would be
Down it goes.
yeah, that would be bad. Like, and Battlefield 5 has record low sales this year.
Of 2.
Yeah.
oh,
Those are both the CEOs of EA.
God, nah.
The franchise they spent years trying to bring back up. Nope, fuck you.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
overall,
let's-
to kind of just wrap this topic up, how do you guys feel about EA Access overall?
I wouldn't do it.
Would you? Yeah, that's a better question. Would you do it? You wouldn't do it.
No.
What? What do
I
you?
don't
What,
own an Xbox One, so no. But
hypothetically, the four of us all own an Xbox One. Hypothetically, all four of us own an Xbox One.
Sure.
Would you do it?
No.
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 PC would still be my main platform. And
Okay,
I would
well,
be my
Xbox One is all you have, and you have a laptop you use for casual
Oh, gee.
browsing.
You don't even have a laptop. You don't have internet access.
Then you can't use it.
Then what's the point of Xbox?
Then you can't get online to use it.
I'm just
they
gonna.
bring you discs to your door.
Oh. No. No, I'd go to EB Games and buy them cheap for like 10, $20.
So no.
I think it's a resounding no.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's a good value, but I think this is catered to more so who both like football and football. Because it's
I-
FIFA 14 and Madden. So
Oh, football.
football and football.
Hey, yearly releases.
As I said with the previous thing, I think it's a good idea implemented very poorly.
Yep.
If this was tweaked in like 5 or 6 ways, I think this would be a must-have service in the same way that PlayStation Plus have.
I think EA is now moving towards, let's do things early and then rework it after. And I think all the negativity they might be getting from this might be good for
They should go and talk to BlackBerry and see how that worked out for them.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying with regards to like Hardline, right? Because
I know, I'm just being an idiot.
all right, so to wrap things up, we're going to go on to our final topic, which is G-Sync.
Ooh. Evan's time to shine.
All right, you know what, Evan? Do you want to explain G-Sync for our viewers who don't know what that is?
All right, so Tech Lesson 101, or actually like 501.
This is an advanced class.
This is actually kind of so in graphics technology for PC, there's been an issue with monitors and graphics cards where your monitor refreshes at a specific rate, say 60, which has kind of been the standard for the past forever. And your graphics card, though, will constantly just keep on spitting out these new frames as fast as it possibly can. So what happens is you get issues where it's known as screen tearing, right? Where your monitor refreshes it has one screen that hits it, but then your graphics card creates another screen before the image is fully refreshed. So you get an image that has basically just kind of been shifted, right? Because it's, a single image at 2 different points in time. So to get around this issue, companies have developed something called VSync, which is called vertical sync because it's syncing all the vertical lines. Haha. What this does is it essentially just limits your graphics card to only producing 60 frames a second. The problem about this, though, is that if ever your graphics card does not produce 60 frames a second, VSync will force your graphics card to then produce 30 frames a second. So if there's ever a dip in your gameplay, you instantly slow down to, from 60 frames, feels like a halt, and it just feels really muddy and annoying. There have been attempts to get around this with adaptive VSync, where VSync is turned on if your graphics card is above 60, and it gets turned off if you're below. If you're below 60, but none of it's really been all that definitive because when you're below 60 frames, you sometimes get stuttering where a frame is shown twice instead of once. So what G-Sync is it is the solution to all of our problems for NVIDIA owners. So NVIDIA has made a little hardware chip that goes into your monitor, which essentially syncs your graphics card and your monitor refresh rate. So your monitor will now refresh at whatever your graphics card can output. So I think it has a lower limit of 30 frames. So if you're below 30 frames, too bad, your graphics card just sucks. You can't run the game. But what this means is that your graphics card you're just going to get an incredibly smooth, no stutter, no screen tearing experience with a game if you are running a G-Sync enabled monitor and graphics card. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. AMD has come up with an attempt to get rid of this. There's also something called Freesync, which is a software solution to this. Nobody's really seen anything from it yet. G-Sync's the one that's hit market first.
And there's also 2 monitors in existence that we know of that have G-Sync.
Yeah, there's a third one coming out by BenQ.
Yeah,
or whatever.
The 2 that I know of are both Asus. The Swift, which is the godsend of all monitors.
Asus is
It's coming out soon.
And then the other VE monitor, I forget what it's called.
VG24 something. Basically, Asus had 2 video game targeted monitors where they were 144 hertz monitor TN panels that were just for like your Counter-Strike players and stuff like that.
Yep.
And they basically took that monitor through G-Sync and it sold it for $100 more. And right now, soon is going to be released the ROG Swift, which is a 27-inch 1440p 144 hertz G-Sync monitor, and it makes me rock hard.
It's absolutely insane.
You could tell how excited Evan is.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a script. He just knows all this off the top of his head.
Woo! I don't know. To me, this fixes my issues with games.
Everything.
Yeah, because there's nothing more jarring in a game that would just completely take you out of the experience than tearing or stuttering, right? It reminds you that you're playing a video game really hard, right? Yep. And this, it solves a lot of that, right? Now, granted, I don't think the ROG Swift is the be-all, end-all of G-Sync. I think there is a perfect monitor I have in my head. I just don't think I'm going to see it for the next 4 years. ROG Swift comes closest to it, but whatever. So what do you guys think about this? The monitors are going to be expensive. Monitors on average have been about $100 to $200 more than their base models. You can buy the motherboard itself, the chip itself, put it into a monitor for $200.
$200, yeah.
Yeah, and then you also have to have a good amount of tech knowledge to put it in. It's not like installing a graphics card. You actually have to, know how to do stuff. Is this something that interests you guys as PC gamers, or are you okay with tearing and stuff like that?
I would absolutely love it. I'm so jealous right now because I have an AMD card. and I won't be able to experience. For example, if I were to get a Swift, all I would have is 144 hertz. That's pretty.
Pure pressure.
Kind of the extent of that.
Pure pressure.
Well, I guess you have Mantle.
Evan, he got us good there. They have Mantle. What are we gonna do?
But Freesync. Something. Insert joke about Dogecoin mining. No longer profitable.
Should I talk about Freesync at all? Kind of explain what it is.
I was wondering.
I mean,
is that
it's
actually compatible?
it's more or less just the free software solution because G-Sync is mostly a hardware solution.
The chip itself, right?
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, go for it, Evan.
Yeah, what it is it's actually a technology that's been available for a long time. It's implemented in laptops for battery saving, because it'll sync your graphics your integrated chip with your monitor when necessary, and it'll turn it off when necessary.
Right.
Unnecessary.
That just sounds like adaptive VSync from a software perspective.
Pretty much what it is.
Right. Right.
But it's a lot more involved.
Versatile.
Yeah, versatile, involved.
G-Sync by itself sounds absolutely fucking fantastic. I have never seen it in action, obviously. None of us really have yet. But to be fair, I've also never seen a 144 hertz or even 120 hertz monitor, so I don't know what glorious PC Master Race gaming even feels like yet.
So that's the thing for me,
I'd love to.
I agree with you. I don't care about 144 hertz. I mean, I'm sure I would love it, but the thing is that if I have 144 hertz, I require a TN panel, and I don't want a TN panel.
Right.
I want IPS.
Yep.
So for me, actually, the perfect monitor would be just a really high resolution IPS monitor with G-Sync enabled, because it gets rid of tearing, it gets rid of stuttering, I get my glorious screen, and it's like that is what I want, but I don't see that happening for a long time personally.
Yeah, not another couple of years at least.
At the rate of G-Sync is coming out, like what? I've been so excited about G-Sync. Like I heard about it, I think in October of last year.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
And Swift was announced at CES, and only now are we hearing about pre-orders. And it's just the rate at which G-Sync is being implemented is just so slow. I would have thought like I would have a wish list of what monitor I wanted by now, but all I have is Swift, which I mean is a fantastic monitor. Don't get me wrong, but 800 is a bit steep.
That's the thing about. It's going to always be like that, though, until this is in every monitor, but it's not going to be because AMD people don't want it, right?
Well, yeah, because otherwise you're literally shutting out half the market, which, I mean, NVIDIA would absolutely love, but the gamers themselves would not.
Yeah. And that would turn out poorly for all of us.
Pretty much.
Whatever happens, it's like NVIDIA releases their baseline graphics card, $1,000. It's like, fuck. All right.
We also what happened with the Intel AMD debacle when AMD almost went under. Oh, let's just jack up our CPU prices by an extra $50.
Yeah, and just monopolies at their finest.
That's what I mean. So it's not a good thing in the sense that if every monitor had it, you just be like, hey, everyone buy NVIDIA because AMD is useless now, or almost useless in comparison. But at the same time, it is really cool.
Yeah. In terms of G-Sync versus FreeSync, so FreeSync is a solution, but G-Sync, based on my tech knowledge, will be better flat out because it is a hardware solution.
Yeah, of course.
Like nothing can be hardware.
It's mostly like the way I interpret it is this. It's like saying, you got a delivery guy who's going from point A to point B, and you literally like FreeSync is like, bro, can you drive faster? Like versus like, here, have a new car. It actually drives faster. Like that. That is literally the difference between FreeSync and G-Sync, in my opinion. Because
that's a wonderful way to put it.
Because it's a software solution. You're basically only telling it, but like the monitor is only restricted to as much as it can do. The basically the miscommunication of the frames is that when it arrives to the monitor, it just doesn't understand because you're spitting so much frames at it that it's just like, trying to figure itself out. So like it makes sense. G-Sync makes more sense, but FreeSync is just more versatile in the sense that you don't necessarily need a specific platform. I don't know.
Right.
It's
big because sorry, go.
Yeah, I really would like to see G-Sync more implemented. I personally think of it as kind of a niche market in the sense that for those who want the higher end enthusiast, I don't think it's going to be mainstream, only because G-Sync doesn't seem to benefit those who are just casual internet browsers, or sorry, people who browse. Like it's only beneficial to those who really need to see 60 frames persistent consistently. And I don't think that watching movies and stuff, I mean, you don't see much of a difference because all that stuff is already pre-rendered, and all that stuff you can just
24 to 30. Yeah.
exactly
Even,
that.
that's why you see, especially with games, when you're buying a monitor, getting a 1 millisecond response time is
Yep.
fairly important, right? Like
Yep,
a
I
5
was just thinking
millisecond,
that.
1 millisecond. If you look at TVs, they're all like 30 ms, 40 ms. It's like because it doesn't matter as long as they spit out the image and the audio is in sync. That's all they have to care about, right? They don't have to care about anything else.
Right.
Quick aside, lesson for all you console gamers thinking of shifting to a PC. Don't use your HD TV for gaming because it's not the same because of what Evan just said.
Yeah,
I've tried it. It's not pleasant.
It's not good. I was using my TV for like a year and a half as my main monitor.
Yeah.
And my friend used it once and he was like, "Oh my god, what is this?" I'm like, "I don't know. Like it's just a TV. I'm used to it." And then I bought like a random 24-inch like shitty ass Samsung monitor, put it down in front of it, moved over to the side, and was like, "Oh my god, what have I been doing?" Back to the monitor, I'm just like, "Oh fuck, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot."
That's also the reason why a 24-inch monitor costs as much as a 50-inch TV. Well, maybe not a 50-inch TV, but like it costs as much as
like a 40-inch. Like it's
yeah.
The panels are just so much better, right?
They're optimized for different purposes.
Different distances of viewing, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, end aside, just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
So
there's also a lot of other stuff that goes into monitor. I'm not going to get into
this.
So how do you feel?
I like talking tech.
He's just you still got the heart on. You got to calm down, there, Evan.
Push it back in your pants.
I don't know. I mean, so you guys know, the ROG Swift is still not my definitive monitor that I'm going to be buying for my new build, which I'm going to post on the website.
Oh yeah.
It's not the definitive one. It's just really fucking good. But anyways,
so
you guys can talk now.
So Aimal, Dominic, what do you guys think about G-Sync? Do you think that's something that interests you?
Yeah, definitely. When I game, when I see those drops, it pisses me off.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure. We experienced that today in Diablo, but that's just Diablo.
No. That's just Diablo. That's
that's
that's just Diablo.
When that happens in a game that's not supposed to, it pisses me off.
Like, Titanfall. Like I jump out of the ship. I'm like, it feels really cool. I'm in a drop ship entering a battlefield. All of a sudden, I'm jumping out of the ship. And it's like my graphics card is going at like 120 FPS. It's like, oh, so many things happening, and my monitor's just like, I don't get it, and it's just like, and I'm just like, that literally is what breaks away my experience from Titanfall, and that's why I've stopped playing.
Everything moves too fast.
My monitor is just like, I don't get it.
For me, a monitor purchase is I want something that can deliver me the best experience that I can get with this game, right? So I can play, like, that's what I want my entire PC thing to be, is I start a game and I don't get thrown out of it ever, right? Like, I'm always invested. And I feel like this is kind of the best of this that we're going to get for now, right? Where there's nothing that the monitor is going to do that kicks me out of the experience that I know of.
Yeah, that really, because it really needs to draw you in, and a single stutter is all you need to kind of eliminate that kind of realistic experience. And it's
sorry, go.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say it just sucks.
And I know this may be me sounding like I'm whining a little bit, right? Like, oh, you can't deal with like stutter or tearing or stuff like that. But when you're playing a game like, say, Witcher 2 or Witcher 3 that's coming out, you'd be really surprised how much you can be invested in a game that is as well crafted and well world designed as that, and then all of a sudden, you get a little frame of tearing or you get a little frame of stuttering, and it reminds you so strongly that this game is this is a video game. You're not like this is a world that somebody crafted, and it really takes you out of that immersion, right? And
no, I agree.
I don't know if that makes me sound bad or good. That's whatever, but
it makes you sound enthusiastic, and that's okay.
Yay!
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's true for the most part. I'm pretty sure that's our bottleneck. I mean, our graphics cards at this point, I'm pretty sure we're peaking for the most part.
Well, I mean, okay, you and me are definitely peaking. Like that, we're solid.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean, somebody owns like a 760 or something like that, right? Like they're gonna be hovering around that 60 frame, and it's those people that are gonna run into the big issues with in terms of hovering above 60 and then dropping below, and they're gonna have yeah, Aimal, how is having a 270X?
It's not terrible. Hey, I bought it because my 6970 died and I needed something cheap. But the whole Dogecoin mining bullshit hadn't gotten down yet, so this thing set me back $300. I needed to finish my school project.
Yeah.
Bad
Yep.
decision. Very
I
bad
don't
decision.
So you guys all think that this is something good. Would something like FreeSync interest you more than G-Sync? Because G-Sync, there is a very, very obvious price increase. Like your monitor will cost probably $100, $200 more. Or are you willing to instead buy whatever graphics card you want and just wait for FreeSync, which granted probably won't be out for another year or two.
Actually, yeah, no, I actually take your sentence and slightly modify it. I would actually rather buy whatever monitor I want and use FreeSync.
Isn't that what he just said?
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
No,
I said
no.
graphics card.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Because because right now, like you said, the most ideal monitor isn't necessarily the Swift because of, whatever reasons it may be that you may have. Ever since the recent rise of 21:9, it seems to be that everyone is jumping on board, with that idea, but the issue being G-Sync probably won't enter that for quite some time.
If at all, because the 21:9 market has always been very, very niche.
Yeah, which is why,
Very
like,
niche.
in this sense, FreeSync has the advantage where, I can buy whatever monitor I want and use it. Because, like, the issue with G-Sync is that it's very specific. You have to have an NVIDIA card. I think it's even 700 series exclusive, or is it 600 as well?
750 above.
Wait,
Right.
G-Sync?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like 750 and above.
right.
Six,
So
7, and 8. It said so on the site.
700,
Okay,
yeah.
670. I don't know everything about G-Sync. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So yeah,
Same.
that's my only issue with G-Sync is that it's a solution that makes sense. You are improving the hardware and having it communicate with the most ultimate hardware that you have better. The issue with being is that it's a very specific parameter that needs to be fulfilled. Which, I mean, it makes sense, but it's too specific for it to be a versatile product. Which is why, like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it's like it's almost there, but it's not. And the issue is, I know G-Sync is not going to be mainstream, mostly because A, it's taking friggin' forever for it to even hit more than 5 monitors, and B, it's just NVIDIA exclusive, so that it's, unless that changes for any reason. I highly doubt it though.
Yeah, and AMD's pretty much flat out said they're not going to.
Yeah.
I don't see why they would. I mean, because they'd literally just be handing NVIDIA money then.
Yeah, licensing fees and stuff. Yeah, basically.
They hate each other a lot.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know. I really want G-Sync, and I think it's great, but I don't see myself getting it only because of the current monitors available. Unless they make G-Sync more, what's the word? Versatile. So let's say, for instance, if they were able to somehow, shrink G-Sync to work with the current monitor module and just have it on like the HDMI or DisplayPort dongle or whatever you want to call it, just plug it in and plug it right through or something.
So that's one thing I don't think I mentioned about the module that you can buy on the website. That module was only compatible with very specific monitors. Like
I think one. I think it's one.
It's only
Yeah.
compatible with the Asus VG 24-inch. Whatever.
Yeah.
So if they can make that module compatible with any monitor, I think this becomes a lot more viable. As much as it is a flat $200 increase, it's yeah.
I think the best they can do is maybe have it. I don't even know, because that by saying that you're making G-Sync more versatile is also like saying every monitor behaves the same, which
But yeah, it's not true.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
not even from the same brand do they behave the same way. It's they're all.
I mean, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
they're all extremely different. Right?
yeah, which
Well,
is
not extremely, but different.
But I mean, like, they run the same technology, but the way they behave is, ever so slightly different, which is why, that one G-Sync chipset only works exclusively, which I mean is probably why it's taken them so long to pump these out, is because, they basically have one engineer and their job title is the model of that monitor G-Sync engineer, and they're just...
So, especially with the ROG Swift, the reason why the VG whatever came out because it was a monitor that existed. The ROG Swift, a ton of R&D time has gone into this monitor. I mean, they have an 8-bit TN panel. That's just unheard of, right? Stuff like that, which just makes this monitor come out that much later. The BenQ one is a 40. It's a 4K 32-inch, I think, with G-Sync implemented. So that's going to come out eventually and be ridiculously expensive. But one thing that they have done with all of these, especially these three monitors, they have hit the gaming market, and they hit it hard, right? Like this is a product that's designed for gamers, and they put it in the gaming monitors, right? If you want to play games and games only on your screen, there's nowhere else you really need to look unless you want color reproduction. But it's an 8-bit panel, so it's gorgeous, right? Like. Yeah.
The issue being is that like I said earlier, that I don't see any benefit for anyone else really. But this
isn't really for anyone else, right? Like this is like the Asus ROG line, right? It's just this is
specifically for
this they don't want to hit anybody else. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be randomly one other. The porn industry is somehow gonna figure out how to implement G-Sync.
You basically render all of it real time.
It's like, yeah, I don't have tearing on my porn now. Yes, yes, no stuttering.
So that would mean that they would have to move away from Flash entirely and use HTML5 with like native 60 FPS rendering or something. That's right, suck it, YouTube.
Again, this podcast is infamous for giving free ideas to companies.
Yeah, this is the episode of giving ideas. So we've helped out any publisher and porn. Woo!
If you're watching this and any of your ideas are inspired by our podcast, please mention us.
Yeah. Man, that's gonna be amazing. Somebody Googles the Casual Nerdcast and it's like, oh yeah, our website and then the YouPorn.
Oh god. I am not tagging any pornography anywhere.
I'll do it for you.
Oh god.
What is it supposed to be? All PR is good PR.
I guess.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Alright, so final thoughts on G-Sync. Aimal, you don't really get any because you can't use it. Sorry.
Fuck you. My next card's probably going to be in video.
Well, anyways, how do you
I
guys?
guess that's another thing to point out. Like this. I mean, especially with Aimal, this is really shifting you towards Nvidia, hasn't it?
Yeah, kinda. Particularly since the whole AMD price blow up bullshit a few months ago, when I needed a card really badly, I paid double the price for it. That's some bullshit.
It's funny what AMD became famous for kind of hurt them in the end because prices just started jacking, and then like it's interesting how that kind of shifted.
Bit of an aside is AMD never raised their prices. It was the sellers at the end. I went to Canada Computers and asked how much this would be. He showed me the MSRP from AMD and showed me how much they're selling it for. R9 280X MSRP $300. They're selling it for $450. Pure $150 jack up. All the stores did it.
But they have so business talk. For a product to sell, they have to have it in stock, right? And if the prices were $300, they would never have any in stock.
Yeah, we saw that happen.
Which looks bad on example Canada Computers, right? Because now somebody walks in and goes, "I want this card." They go, "We don't have it." Right? Like it's just
it happened. Yeah,
it's business practice, and it's good business practice to up your prices to make supply and demand meet, right? Because you're just making yourself look bad if you don't.
Right, but I guess in the end it bit them a little bit because now you're making yourself look bad because your cards are nowhere near the same in performance.
Yeah.
At least in this generation.
Not having something in stock is very detrimental, right? Because
Absolutely.
people are going to start finding another option and stop going. And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
there's a lot of big stuff with it. Anyways,
Yep, that was.
what do you guys think about G-Sync?
So actually, you know what? That's the most interesting thing. Aimal, how do you feel about G-Sync being an AMD owner?
I really, really like the idea. I don't own a 120 hertz or 144 hertz monitor, so I have not experienced that gloriousness. I have experienced screen tearing, and I don't like it. I'm sure Evan fucking hates it, but I don't like it. And if this is something that's like a one-stop shop solution to absolutely improve the worthwhileness, like the immersion of games, I'm all for it. Particularly since, if you happen to have an NVIDIA card, you just buy your next monitor, and there you go. You gotta spend a bit more up front.
Oh yeah.
And it is actually kind of drawing my attention towards getting an NVIDIA card for my next upgrade. Like, I'm not even kidding. Just, it sounds fucking fantastic. I need a monitor upgrade anyway, so...
And also with NVIDIA Shield and stuff, NVIDIA's been doing...
True.
They've been implementing a lot of really cool ideas.
The NVIDIA
I hate how much I sound like an NVIDIA fanboy. I really don't. I've suggested people buy AMD products before. It's really hard to now. Oh, fuck. I sound like an NVIDIA fanboy. God.
That's fine.
It's okay. It's okay. I am a self-proclaimed, recognized NVIDIA fanboy. In fact, in fact, I only buy EVGA. I am like hardcore. Like, I will not buy anything else except EVGA.
Nice.
The other thing we didn't really mention, I guess, is the fact that NVIDIA owners get the game streaming on their NVIDIA tablets. And I kind of want that because I really fucking need an NVIDIA tablet. It is like the bane of my existence right now. I must have one.
Well,
I mean,
okay.
the two would go well together.
We're kind of gearing off to game streaming now. We'll leave that for another time.
Oh no, I simply meant that's the reason. Like, G-Sync plus this is kind of drawing me towards NVIDIA more and more.
So
but yes, it sounds great.
So Dominic, how do you feel about G-Sync? What are your thoughts?
I think I need it too. just no doubt about it.
Straight up.
Now is currently within your possession. Do you think you would be willing to toss $800, $900 for a Swift, or what is it, $500-$600 for like the whatever that was, the Asus?
The 24-inch is only $250, man. It's not even that much.
No, with G-Sync it's like $400.
Oh, that might have been without G-Sync then.
Yeah.
No, I think that's within my budget if I'm out of school. But yeah, definitely. I think that is within a lot of gamers' budget line.
The 400 or the 800?
400. 800 is kind of up there.
It's not out of the range of luxury monitors though. When 1440p was initially released, those monitors were 800. Now we're seeing 4K monitors at the 6 to 800.
Yep.
6 to 800 is kind of the enthusiast grade.
The early adopters pay back for the research and development.
Actually, before CES, I remember talking to Evan saying something about how like we should get like a 1440p monitor and hopefully with G-Sync shown at CES. And we kind of predicted it to be about $1,000. So I was kind of shocked to see Swift being released for $800. Like, in my opinion, Swift is a good deal. It's still too goddamn expensive, though. Like,
but this is an early adopters product,
right? Exactly.
Like, by far, right? Like this is an enthusiast grade product.
You're paying back for all the years of research we did. Like, give us money.
They have a fucking 8-bit TN panel. Like, goddamn,
that's
blows
not a
my
thing.
mind. Yeah. And they're guaranteeing it across all models. Ah, fuck.
Yep. I think we pretty much all agree though that we all need this. Even the lonely guy without an NVIDIA card.
I probably should have said this earlier, but I just remembered there's actually another video that Linus does, I think at CES, which really points out the benefits of G-Sync. I'll try and find it, and we can maybe link it in the doobly-doo.
Sure.
Doobly-doo.
The doobly-doo.
Right down there, wherever that is.
It's really cool.
I'll cover all my bases in case YouTube changes their layout. Like,
it's not.
I love it when I watch videos and people are like, "I don't know where it makes me laugh." I'm just gonna point to my penis.
You don't need a reason to do that.
It was showing when you were talking about G-Sync.
So yeah. Anyways, Anything else anybody wants to say about it?
I think I'm pretty content. I actually learned a bit about how Evan is how excited he is for G-Sync.
It's really cool. This is
Don't get
a
him started.
development. This is a development.
It looks like he's gonna marry it if he could.
Okay, I'm not. I am very much sold on it, but I'm not sold on the ROG split. This is there. There are very few times in hardware where something drastically changes a gameplay experience as much as this. Right? This is something that developers have been trying to fix for years, and we're finally fixing it. It's not perfect. I don't know if like who knows what the evolution of this is, but it's exciting. It's really exciting, and it removes an aspect of gaming that has very much frustrated me in the past.
And developers don't need to worry about it as much anymore.
They don't have to worry about it at all, right?
Oh, yeah,
like
that.
well, okay, so yeah, they still do, but if something like this becomes mainstream, they don't, right?
Yeah. So well on its way.
Yes, and that's why I'm so excited, because it excites me. This is something that was thought to be unbeatable before, and we beat it, right? Like it's like cancer. We beat the cancer of video games, guys.
Except a lot less dramatic, but I mean, like I can see where you're coming from.
Well, no,
here.
not if you're Evan. It's pretty much just as dramatic.
God,
it is
I
the
just sound like an asshole. But anyways, that's why I'm excited, right? It excites me, and I yay.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine.
And then one of these days, I just want to record you talking about G-Sync. I want to see how long that video goes for.
You want to get me really going? Just like talk about Star Wars or something. I don't know. I'll just fucking rant.
The video will
Star
just
Wars
start with
or
me just like whispering one word in your ear, and then we'll see how long it can go for.
Yep.
All right, I think that's about it for our final thoughts. Yeah.
So.
Hey Dominic, got any ideas for an outro?
An outro.
You got 5 seconds. Go.
Oh boy. I have no idea.
Time's up. Okay, bye guys.
All right, so our outro remains. We will talk about an outro.
Evan, you want to dance away? No, the other one when you go like this. There we go.
I hit the wall. You need to
Come
stop
back!
now.
Come back! Come back!
I think that's when you should have cut it.
I should have. We didn't really say
Hit the wall.
bye.
Stop now. And then
All
stop.
right. Bye. Bye.